COVID card out.
All right.
COVID card. Oh yeah, Mike Williams is my
Carrie,
brother.
we running your intro, bro.
Okay.
Do you sing during the intro?
No. This has to be
Without the way, with the legendary.
No way, man. You don't gotta do that. What the fuck am I thinking about? Oh yeah.
Would you like your headset charged, sir?
Like
Lord,
I will freeze up in the most important moment of all of our lives. I'm like, what the fuck?
Every time I come in the press room, you in the press room. Working on our Stars Hottronic heat press. Using all the vinyl. Making all the picture tees. I like vinyl.
I'm about to just load these boxes up on Nacho.
Man, you gotta be a crazy little brother to get fired on your day off. What you get caught stealing boxes for?
Man, I didn't get caught stealing no boxes. He said he caught me though.
You get our rent paid.
Why don't you go in there and ask the girls real fast to see if they help us pay our rent?
That don't sound like a bad plan at all.
What's up, Pops? What's up, Smokey? I'm trying to set up a meeting with the girls, man.
Okay.
Y'all wanna help me and Craig pay our rent?
Craig still owe me money from the last time he got me. He gotta learn a lesson. He shouldn't be stealing. Go ask him to tell that girl from last night to give him some money.
What they say? They said it's slow for real.
I'm about to just ask boss when we get our job that night.
Of course you can. Yeah!
Action, bro.
Good evening and welcome to Coach K Sports Corner with my co-host DK, Kenny Bird, my partner in crime. We here tonight, and I'm telling you, for the first 3 weeks, we've had some amazing talent in here, some legends, some stars, and tonight, oh my God, it just gets better.
Yes.
You know, we have, if not the most decorated female from Dayton, Ohio. We have
Yes.
the most, she's probably in the top 3 most decorated athlete to come out of Dayton, Ohio.
Absolutely.
And I'm talking about the only Tamika Williams Jeter, my girl, beautiful, head coach of the Wilmington women's basketball team. I'm talking about her story is just phenomenal. I've been following her since she came out of her mama. Because I've been with her mama was my teacher. I went to school with her siblings.
Hey, because you know what you and my mama. You might be
might
my daddy. You might be my daddy. You might be my daddy the way you was rubbing on me in my mama's belly. So let's talk. Tell them what you say when the camera's off. I used to be rubbing on your mama's belly when you was in here. Okay, keep it rolling. I'm leaving.
You're gonna have a healthy, beautiful child.
And it's gonna. Yes. That's what you know. Hey, that's right. They used to say me and Carrie looked alike a little bit from the side.
Take care of me in school. You take care of me. So, the love is just there. And I'm telling y'all, I could go on about her story, but I'm going to let her tell a little bit about herself. She's going to be a little humble about some. She doesn't tell you what I feel that you should know. I'm going to tell it. Darren going to tell it. It's right here. I'm telling you. So, Tamika, go ahead and talk.
It's nothing. This is nothing. I want to see what kind of show you run, because you was real political and this is what I'm gonna do. But tell it. I know. I ain't on Facebook no more, Carrie, up in this money. All right. I need jail, Carrie. Okay. I just want to know. Okay. Let's go. So don't try to hit him on Facebook. Y'all. He ain't there.
I'm still that nigga. I'm dead.
All right. As long as I know what kind of show we on. All right. I know
I'm gonna have to start talking a little different.
He's very well educated to my right, so we know that when we want to go there, we call on the black man. I'm originally from Jefferson Township, born and raised, 5036 Redford.
These gonna be your mom's address.
Everybody know it ain't changed, and the phone number ain't changed. It's still the same, 41 years later. So I love Dayton.
Yeah.
I love everything about Dayton. I'm happy to be close in proximity to come back to answer this call or for you to come out and visit. I've had a long road and a lot of jobs. Leaving high school, playing here at Chaminade Julienne, going to Connecticut, 4 years, going to the pros, getting drafted. That was pretty big. And then coaching I'm coming up on like 17, 18 years of coaching at Power 5 and now at the D3 level for a year. So, you know what I'm saying? That's what they say. You are my dad.
So I'm gonna say, you don't know. You won a national championship in AAU.
Yeah, a lot.
At what age was that?
I think the first one was at maybe 13. We won a couple of them. That's back before all the Adidas. That was when you played state, and then the best team went to nationals, and you played all the best players, wherever that was, and that was it.
Wow, y'all hear that? I mean, when I tell you the most decorated female, probably the top 3 decorated athlete from Dayton. So she won some AAU. How was it playing AAU back then? You were playing for who? The
Dayton Lady Hoop Stars.
Dayton Lady Hoop Stars.
Yes, right.
And that was the only really female.
Yeah, I mean you had a couple of them. Yeah, you had a couple. Not many. You had 3.
Yeah, 3.
Maybe 3 or 4. You had Moss up there in Urbana,
Okay.
and he had Urbana team. You had Toledo. They had one Toledo Elite. Erica Haney ended up going to Notre Dame, and then they had Cincinnati Angels. Cincinnati Finest with Steve Sanders. That was one of the originators.
I didn't know it was only like 4 or 5 programs in the state. I'm talking about just the city.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
It was just Dayton Lady Hoop Stars.
That was it.
I know that was just a.
Yeah, Tangi was on the first.
If you made that team,
you was it.
You were it.
Pretty much back then. So we made that team. I think I didn't start playing sports until I was 10. Because Michael and Tangi, my older brother and sister, played.
Right.
So we had to chase them around.
So you really had no choice but to start playing, following your older sibling.
Absolutely. But I didn't want to.
Because your older brother went to Miami, Ohio.
Yep.
And they made a deep run into the tournament.
Yep. They won I think Mike probably won 2 MAC championships and went into the tournament. Almost beat North Carolina. I remember being. Yep. And then Tangi was at Bowling Green. They won for all 4 years.
Yes.
So she went to the NCAA tournament all 4
your
years.
family is decorated because your youngest sister
she
was
went
a
to
basketball star as well.
She went to Fresno State, then North Carolina A&T.
Man.
But a whole bunch of transfers. They went to the tournament too.
It doesn't matter. I mean, come on. Your bloodline is just, y'all were just doing it. I mean,
Wasn't me.
Damn, y'all was now
I know.
competing like, we home for Thanksgiving, we got to get up shots.
Oh yeah, you already know. It was on. Mike still talk about it. You already know.
Him being the only boy.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure y'all would dog him.
Yes.
Because y'all were all thicker and stronger.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and tougher. Just a lot of that. There's a lot that goes with that. Thicker, tougher, stronger, mentally more. You just keep going. You could.
He talked the most trash.
Absolutely. You know that ain't even close.
And your parents were just right there. Your mom and dad, right there.
My parents, Gino Oriano wrote in his book about my parents. And you don't think about it until your parents get old or pass away, how much you miss them and how much you sound like them, right? Yeah. I'm at that point in my life. And my parents didn't care about sports. Really? My mom, they enjoyed it, they talked about it, but they were more concerned about how you treat people and our grades. But mom and dad never, I never came home and they said you could have got more rebounds or you could have, why'd you do that? They let you could coach us as hard and they just say whatever you want.
Yeah. Just don't abuse my child.
That's it. Just don't put your hands on them.
That's it.
But you can come close to it. Because, they were the teachers, they were educators.
Right, yeah.
So they was always going to believe.
Because your mom had a ruler and she would hit me with that ruler.
In 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And tell you about everybody in your family. I mean, she did 40 years in public.
I was like, yes, ma'am.
That's right.
Okay. So, yes, I mean, I just know your parents were just always there for you.
Absolutely.
Other way.
followed you.
Mm-hmm.
Not only just you, but your siblings as well.
Absolutely.
I can recall them at all the games.
Little more.
Even at Resurrection when Mike was playing at Resurrection.
Yep. Who else was up there with Mike? Carrie Ivy. I got the picture.
Yes.
I got the pictures.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I remember that. Crazy. So
Oh.
you decide what made you go to CJ?
They all went. Really, I wanted
Your
to.
family.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, we had a whole big family fallout because I wanted to go to
I
Dunbar
can cut it. It's okay.
because that's who I played pickup with. You know, and back then it was Sheehy sisters. You had Rhonda was there. You had what I can't remember, little point guard. I mean, they had everybody, and Angie. I mean, they had a squad to me, and that's who I played with at Princeton, at Westwood. I mean, on my side of town. So when Mom and Dad sent me to Chaminade, and Coach Mont was coming after me, I'm like, just let me go to Dunbar. No, you gotta go to Chaminade. You gotta Chaminade. So I go to Chaminade. They make me try for the varsity team. I lock myself in the basement because I didn't want to play, cause for fear of not being as good as Mike Wantangi.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever knew that. And they had to call Tasha Johnson to the house. She was a senior on that team to come get me out the basement because I didn't want to play at that point. Because you know, Chaminade, they put your name up there. I was like, I sure would have went to Dunbar. They good. And then we beat them. I don't think I lost. I think 4 years we went. We never lost to a
what was
public
your
school.
record in 4 years there?
That's it.
I know the only thing I cared about was not losing to a public school. Because you know back then you had pages.
Oh, yeah.
Carrie, you was responsible for this. We would play Trotwood, and you would be talking so much trash. Man, you know, they about to kill you. They got 3-pound fine and whop the white. You ain't got nobody. That's the only time Carrie turned on me. So I remember you and Jonathan watched because back then these kids don't understand them games to be sold out.
Yeah.
And you sit right at half court. We warming up. You chumping.
Yep.
But you ain't know you was feeding the monster. I was like, I was just growing on the inside.
I wanted to feed the mom.
I was like the Hulk.
I wanted to feed the mom.
And guess what? They got it.
They got it.
I got it.
Yes, I.
Boop,
agree.
boop, and boop. That's what they did.
You gave it to him.
You got it.
You gave everybody.
You did. You stayed
stayed
neutral. But he used to always be. I used to be like, all right.
What did he say? What kind of stuff was he saying?
You ain't gonna get nothing. See, this is what happened. Somehow, I used to have to change my pager number. Every public school outside of like the ones that wasn't that good, they would spread my number through the school. He didn't know that. So we played Dunbar the first time. Somehow my pager number get to everybody in the school.
And we're talking about pagers.
Yeah.
That's how old I am.
So that would have to be like 96, 95,
95, 94. It was 94, 95. My pager, like, you know how you had a limit? It blew up. My mom had to change my number. Then we played Patterson. Perk old stank butts. They had Victoria, your AD. You had Yogi. You had Yogi. I mean, they had a squad. Victoria. They had everybody.
They did have a team.
Tuck.
Yeah, because Victoria used to play with us down at Roosevelt.
Yeah, Tuck was a baller.
Yes.
And Tuck, you know, I can't, you know, Tuck, I know you, but Tuck talked trash. He was tough. And they were really good. Think about all those teams that they won.
Was who? I don't remember.
Tuck was he had the like
Grant Clark.
Yeah.
Grant Clark. Coach
yes.
Clark.
Yes.
And that same thing. So every time we played, the only team that didn't really do it was Trotwood. But every other city school that we played, they passed my pager number out before then.
Because going against Trotwood, it was Tanya McDowell.
Tanya, Tiffany Guthrie,
Yeah.
Janae.
Yeah, they had a squad.
That's when you was really you was like they gonna get you.
I was really kind of white then, and I was only there for
They just had
Trotwood
dribbles.
because my nieces
Yeah.
were playing for Trotwood.
Yes.
So I had to. It was my nieces.
D Flea. They didn't have just athletes to field. They
my
could
niece
defend.
Margie was on
Margie
that
is on
team.
that team.
So I had to Tanya Ford. and
Yes.
all them. So I had to talk for them. You know, even though my heart was with you, but my niece, they're my heart, they're my baby. So
I'm your child. I'm your child.
It's
a difference.
Buck, and my brother was helping Buck. He was helping.
Well, they all-
Yeah. But you gave it to him.
But they got that business.
They got that work.
Okay, next.
So, but let me say this: I followed her. Then she went to tournament. I was at the games. I was at the state when you won state. I'm right down there in front row. I'm still down there, and I'm chirping for you.
Thank you. You always chirp for me.
Yeah, I'm talking cash for you. That's my number 34. She's number 1 in your heart.
What was he about to say? That's my what?
Oh, he said it at the game.
Yeah, that's my.
He probably sitting with the Chaminade section saying,
First off, you don't know. I'm Catholic.
I know you Catholic.
You told me that in your interview, in your life story.
So,
I know.
I'm Catholic, so my thing with Chaminade is my heart's there. My wife went to Chaminade, graduated from there. My siblings graduated from Chaminade.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be at CJ, but I didn't go. You know, other
They wouldn't have let you in. There's probably like, yeah.
Oh, they kind of. I was there. They kind of said no.
No.
They had him on the projector and his face.
What?
Up there, they sweat.
How's your heart with a school you don't go to?
Just like you had an argument with your people.
Oh, yeah.
I argued with my mom because my mom told me I had 3 choices. I had Alter, Carroll, or Chaminade.
Yeah, I bet.
And I said, okay, Chaminade. But I knew once I got down there, I was going to get kicked out like my brother got kicked out. My brother got kicked out.
The first day.
Soccer punching the love. I said, I'm going to go out just like him. My mom, you know, she went upside my head, but I got my wish. I got out of there. So
And went to see Dub. You a cougar.
I went to Trotwood first.
Really?
Yes. I went to Trotwood to play football first.
Boop.
I went there first.
Man.
Yo.
Huh?
He got kicked out of trouble.
Him and Tommy Owens out of there.
You and Tommy?
Him and
They
Tommy
kicked me out.
Owens.
I transferred. I
Out of
left.
there.
You transferred.
I wanted to leave. I
Okay.
had to get out there.
Mig, what's a nice way of saying you out of
I
there?
transferred.
Transferred.
I resigned.
In '86, Trotwood was turning to a predominantly black community,
Oh, yeah.
black school, but they had white people running the school, running the district, and it just wasn't being run, you know, fairly. And so some things happened, and they accused me of something that I didn't do. And so, you know, me at that time, being who I was like, you know, I gave him the finger
I believe that.
and told him, you know, kiss my ass, I'm gone. And I was on the varsity basketball team as a sophomore, and we played on Tuesday night. I left Wednesday. On Friday, I was on Colonel White's bench at UD Arena, and they were furious because my papers weren't all the way through yet.
Yeah.
And they were furious. They called me like, you know, what are you doing on Colonel White's bench? I'm like, I'm gone. I'm through with y'all. Y'all can have that. So I left. So, but nah, that's not about me.
But back then you could do that, huh?
Yeah, back then you could do that without having to sit out, you know, the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know, back then you can get that off. But you know,
Can I say something real quick?
what's that?
So people might know this. Growing up, having to be in that space, right? There was a lot of stuff that happened. You know, we also had MTV and Sports Illustrated, and it was a lot that went on in Dayton at that time. And I always say this because people were like, "What did you do when you were growing? You know, when you were in high school and this?" I was like, "Nothing." They'd be like, "Why not?" I was like, "I remember trying to I try to get in Spunkies."
Oh,
I'm with my homie. Like, I'm about to just walk past. Harry ain't gonna make me. I got it if you want it. Would you? Harry used to be like, he'll let everybody do 1, 2, 3. Hey, vibe. You know, he used to be extra. And stop. UD Arena, come sit next to me. Y'all would be like, hey, you want to do this? Come with me. But, I love y'all for that
Straight entourage.
because it protected me,
yeah.
and I never got in really any trouble.
And you know what? I think that's a lost art now in a city where the athletes now aren't protected.
I was
Because
protected.
the guys in the streets aren't protecting the athletes.
Yep.
You know, instead of, you know, telling the athletes, no, you go play ball. You go do what you do.
Right.
And we're gonna do this over here. You
Right.
know, when you need something, we're gonna take care of you.
Right.
Look after you. And now they're saying, you know, the misery loves come on over here.
Yeah.
You know, destroy your life. Come
Right.
play. Come be with me.
Yep.
You know, come move this work. You know, come be
Yeah.
with me. Come go in the club. You know, I know
Yeah.
you're 16, but come on, get in this club.
Yes.
And act the fool. So, you know, and I just felt like, you know, you needed that. You know, at a young age, you don't know you need it.
Yeah, I'll look back on it, and I was saved by that. Cause you would pull me out, like I'll be like, I'm about to go on Spunkies, and then you'd be like, yeah, you can go. You stay right here. You can stay out here all night, but you gonna stay right here. You can look in the club. I remember,
you know what would be funny?
like,
I'll
dang,
be
it's grad night. I'm 18.
We sitting out
I'm just-
front, and you will see you walking down like another buddy of ours will say, "Damn, man, look at that big stallion walking down."
You know that?
Oh, she ain't getting in this. Not tonight.
Ferg, they was hating, but they saved me, Ferg. They saved
Might as
me.
well go
They
back
saved
around
me.
the corner and go.
They saved me. Yellow pain, if you watching. You know what I'm saying? We got something for you in here, all right? Y'all save me though. I love y'all for I tell that to young people everywhere I've been. Even when I go to Africa and Sri Lanka, every place I've ever visited.
Because you've been some places.
I've been some places. I talk about y'all. I have been to Sri
Well, I
Lanka
appreciate
with
that.
Yellow Pain.
I
have
appreciate
been. I've been
I
to
know
Sri
the love is there. I know every time we see each other, and there might be far in between. We don't see each other a lot, but when I see you, ain't nothing but hugs and love.
That's
I
right.
know that's what it is.
Yep.
And it was such an honor for me to, when I was up in Springfield, to come watch your game and watch you coach your game. It was so I just sat there with my mouth open, like, look at my girl, look at my baby over there, coaching this team. It was just like a proud big brother.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that so much. And it was just when you don't understand when I text you to say, okay, Tamika, we can get on the show this week, and you just responded so fast with a yes. I smiled so.
What'd you think I was gonna say?
I mean, I can't make it at this time. You
Oh, no.
You got the kids. You got,
Yeah,
everything. You got a lot going on. So I was just like, I was so just filled with just glee. Like, thank you. Yes, this is gonna be the bomb.
Yeah.
Like, this is so personal to me. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, there's nobody in this city that can do it like I'm doing it, like my brother can do it, can bring him in, and just, it's going to be a personal conversation, nothing but love, because when I tell you she's decorated, they did Sports Illustrated did a piece on you back in high school. Was it high school?
It was high school.
Just on recruiting.
Yeah, it was recruiting at the time.
Oh my God. Those things are just fathom that. For some people that not to go through things that you went through, your life story is just so crazy. And the thing of it is, I don't think the Dayton people or the Dayton sports fans truly know who you are. They know it's Tamika that played for UConn, went on to get drafted. That's what they know. I don't think they know
everything else.
You did all that. They don't know that the Ohio State flew you from Dayton to Columbus to recruit you.
Yeah, I remember
That's
that.
crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy back then. We're gonna get back to
for
that.
you to be, how old were you, 17?
Yeah.
And you like, y'all gonna fly me to Columbus from Dayton? Not come get a car, y'all just drive on up here. We want you so bad.
Oh yeah, those stories.
You fly up.
And I remember coming, because you land at the OSU Golf Airport. Of course, I know that now from working there for so long. But you get off, and back then it was Andy Geiger. It was before Gene Smith. It was Andy and Michelle Willis, who's the senior associate AD, and I can't remember the third person. But I remember the plane door opening, and they had a red carpet.
They laid it out.
It was a red carpet that just rolled right to them. And I just, or the day at University of Dayton, that's another one that stands out. But Notre Dame was amazing. My dad went crazy, on those visits. We don't get that. Now I know the coaches there. One has been there forever. And Carol was like, man, she said, we got an Escalade. I said, I don't even remember that. It wasn't, she said, we rented an Escalade when you came on your visit. And I was like, I don't even remember. But that's where Sports Illustrated took a lot of pictures, and MTV.
I mean, just the recruiting that.
It was crazy back then.
I mean, I've known of people that have gotten recruited and have been highly recruited around here, and I know some of the stories. But for your stories to be, first of all, I don't know anybody that's been flown from Dayton to Columbus.
Man,
you're the only
in
person.
the history of the world.
Right.
Right.
You're the only person I know been flown in a private jet from Dayton to Columbus to say, hey, we want you.
Yeah.
And then the funny story, the flip side of that was Gino
sent me a
to
paper
mail
plane.
you
A paper plane.
Say,
This is all we can do.
That's all I got for you.
Every visit he did that. He said Notre Dame, he sent confetti, oh, I know, because they took out all the bells and whistles and the football and had my dad drooling and touchdown. And they made sure MTV, because at that time MTV and Sports Illustrated, they made sure both were on campus. So they opened up all their campus. So all the pictures were touchdown Jesus in the back. So they did that. So my dad back there slobbering, and you know what I'm saying? It was just like, I'm like, man, I'm not, and everybody Chaminade, because that's the only sister institution. Yeah. So everybody Chaminade was like, she's going to Notre Dame. She's a smart kid, and
what made you? What did it for Gino? What made you say, Gino? What made you say you?
This is gonna throw a lot of young kids off. Now that that I'm in coaching, is he told me everything I didn't do. I would go play a AAU game and I have 30 points and 10 rebounds and probably 3 I just dominate. We would win, and he'd be like, "But you let that." Now this is Gino. He was like, "You let that 5'7" white girl get 5 rebounds." Like it was all. He would always find that one thing that would just make me go. I'll go to the next game and I was trying to have 20, 35 points and 20 rebounds. Like, and then he would always like hit something where every other coach in America, I can actually say that, would say, "You're so good. What position? You want to be a point guard?" When they did, they would always tell me everything I wanted to hear. He was the only person that said poked holes in my game.
And with Gino, I think about maybe 10 years ago, I really started following him really tough. Mm-hmm. And I started, watching videos and stuff. Just as a coach, you want to get better as a coach. And you want to learn from the best. And I remember him sitting Brittany Stewart down. And he was like, "Well, you're not doing nothing. So sit down." And you just, and everybody was looking like, wow.
Stewie, yeah.
And that's just him. That is him. He's like, and it's just amazing. And I think that, with that rubs off on me as a coach because I do the same thing. I'll sit down. JG, of course, he like, man, sit down. We ain't thinking about you. I don't care how many stars you got by your name. How many people tell you great. Sit down. You're not gonna do it my way. Sit down. And I think that's with Gino, and then for the class that y'all had. I mean, Sue Bird, who's still playing.
Oh yeah, hanging on with a bent leg, still putting in work.
Yes.
Yeah. I got interviewed today about that. They're up to our 2002 class, and you forget some things, but they're like, "How did you feel coming in? And how did you? And what's this?" And and Sue now, she's an activist, so she's like, they made it cool for black kids to come to, people didn't want to say that, but that wasn't a thing in Connecticut. And for us to go against the grain and not go to Georgia or Tennessee with Pat Summitt, to go up there. We went up there to knock her off. That was our game plan coming in. And Swin, Asia Jones, Sue Bird, Tarasi ended up getting at it. And then before us, you had Shea Ralph and Svetlana. Svetlana, if she was American, she was Russian, but if she was American, she was 3-time first team All-Big Team, all American. So she was just older than us, and I played with her professional.
See, my mouth was just sitting here wide open, just listening to her, just like, because I don't know if y'all understand the names that she is spitting out here. Sue Bird, who was in her what year playing?
Legend.
20th, I think. This will be her 20th year,
20th year
of professional basketball.
Being in the WNBA, and I saw she had
she got a lot of commercials right
minutes, now. She had a 60 minute special on this past Sunday, and they interviewed her last night on ESPN talking about how that was for her. But then I just sit back and I'm like, damn, my sis was with her.
Oh yeah, I had her talk to my team before we played the ball. That's who I talked to him, and then she came on. She was in, and that, and, there's an expectation with Sue. But Sue's a very soft-spoken person, so she's like, "Hey guys, good luck," whatever. And they all like, you got some D3 kids. She live, so just to be able to share that with people in that space. Today I got interviewed on. People say we're arguably the best team that's ever played on the girls' side, starting 5, right? Yeah. And so, and then we had some teams. My junior year, that probably been the best if Shea and Svet didn't get hurt, because you had 7 or 8 lottery picks on the team in staggering classes. He asked, like, did you guys know how good you were? I said, no, we thought we sucked. We had a coach that told him, like, you know what suck. You know what I'm saying? Like, every day. You ain't nothing.
Y'all were like rock stars going to
I know, but we didn't have social media. We didn't have what these kids know. My mom and dad wasn't telling me I was good. They were saying you just can't quit. Whatever Coach K say, that's what we done. Yeah. So we didn't have all this, like, everybody's telling you good and parents selling you and all. I didn't have that. And so my experience, our experience was different. We were on a campus. We was broke for real. Yeah. We was making money somewhere. We sell things here, get a little hair. We had to make our way. We worked in the summers, and we won championships. Right. And we did stuff that regular kids do.
Who can say that? Like, we did this, we did that, and we won championships.
And then we became pros. So it's just that part of it. I love that I was born when I was born, and that I experienced it when I experienced. Because now when I get interviewed, you don't understand the greatness that you're surrounded by and the things that you've done until you're 20 years removed and you got kids.
You look back at your career and you saw, you're like, oh.
That was pretty cool. I mean, I'm from Jefferson Township. You don't go to places that I've gone. You don't coach.
You've been
to
everywhere.
China. I've been to Africa. I've been to Sri Lanka. I've been to India. I was in Ukraine. I was.
So I would like to ask in the middle of that is the Brittany Griner situation. If you don't mind giving us a little bit of your.
I sit on both ends of this of it because Brittany Griner has been in other countries, and other countries are not. That's why it's a locked up abroad. Because they don't play with that stuff.
Right.
The way you get caught with a little something, they be like, man, give me that, and I'm gonna sign you. Yeah, they're not gonna. The police here are not gonna waste their time on that to a certain extent for what she had on her. But she knows that we were in war. I mean, we were. I mean, you can't have more tension between two countries.
Right.
You wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt. You're a gay woman. Yeah, you just
out.
Yes.
Long time before she left.
She left, yeah. I just, that part of it for me and Perk laughing. I'm like, I feel bad that she's there because I wouldn't. I mean, you don't want to do something. And what she went in there for, but I feel like she should have known.
Right.
Because she's been in that country. She knows what that gets you. You traveling, she made millions of dollars. So whatever she came back with, it was in the millions.
Correct.
You can't buy that.
Right.
You can't get that
here.
I'm not even trying to judge you. Like, you can get it, but you can get that here.
Right.
So what was, or was it that, was it that pow? That's all I can say. It must
be worth what you're going through.
I mean, it ain't worth that.
Yeah, they talking about giving her 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, then what drug is you going to, like, it's got to, what's the limitless? That's what I have to have. I'm smuggling limitless, the stuff to keep you up and you're sharp and I mean, it's got to be some pill that don't exist.
I think that's what a lot of people's head.
Yeah. Hey,
limitless pill. One of my favorite movies is Limitless for sure.
Like, and it would have to be that supernatural for me.
Yeah.
To go through something like that in a country that's that volatile with ours. And most of my travel was through the State Department. I was an ambassador of sport. It was 60 of us that Laura Bush and Condoleezza Rice back then put together. So half of it would be NBA, WNBA driven and Nike athlete, because I was a Nike athlete. The other half, I would always go, I would go to Senegal, and then they would send me to Malawi. Very poor country. I get off, they eating rats, like seared rats. At the airport, and you got those Americans that are like, oh, I'll taste that. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Wait a minute, literally eat rats.
I'll show you the picture when you get done. And they up there like, just try it. Nope. Not rat, but mice. Mice on a stick.
Same to me,
thing, right? So yeah. I mean, to me, I was like, I'm not from.
They cousins at least.
And so
I don't eat pork, so
yeah. I mean, and that just show there's certain. It gave me a realization of what poor means. Because in this country, we say we poor, but I come from nothing. No, you don't come from nothing.
You don't see. I mean, I saw it when I was in San Diego, and I went over the border to Tijuana.
Tijuana, yeah.
And when I went over the border, going from San Diego to Tijuana, if you've never been, it's two different worlds. And I went over to Tijuana in my mouth, and Jeff was telling me, when you get over there, he said, first off, don't take money.
Nothing.
He said, take your ID, take your little bit of cash. And that's it. He said, because they will rob you, they will get you, and they will. It's crazy when you step over there and you see like, damn, this is poor for real.
This poor.
So I know the places you were going.
I seen people with malaria.
It was not just poor, but it was overcrowded.
Overcrowded. You have high. And so the second time I went over, maybe the third time we went to South Africa, and the Kimbe Mutombo's from Congo. So you go to Congo, you got AK-47s because you got civil war in most of these countries. So you have a huge separation of have and have-nots. We live in a society with a middle class. Yeah. So it's very hard for us to imagine it, to go somewhere where you have an extreme and we think these are half and half. Nah, we got a middle class. Yeah. So we have a working middle class.
You're not doing bad. They doing bad.
You got clothes on. I would go to these things and literally they will walk from villages from 15 all day just to come for an hour basketball little thing, and every time they would be like, here go Tamika. I would pull my shirt off. I would always have spandex on. I would pull my shorts off. I would take my socks off. I would always bring like 10, however many days, that's how many pair of shoes I brought. You would see little kids like 4 years old to wear a size whatever and my size 9 sneakers, and we'll wear them things. if I, you know, they be like, they can't be like, you gonna pull off anything? I would, every time we would go to, because I just felt like, I mean, I would pull stuff out of my hair, just I would give them everything. When I would go, I would take it, and then I would buy stuff and bring it back. But I would always come back with I would give everything away. You have never seen poor the way you've seen poor in the country. I've seen a kid with malaria, so it's shooting out with both ends, they butt naked in a hut. Like, that's poor. And guess what? I'm protected by the military. I'm taking my malaria pills every day. You know, like, just to have access to getting something like that. And we're in a country where healthcare is expensive. How about no healthcare? How about you get dropped off at the hospital and they drop you back off at your house? You know, like, so the Dikembe opened up a public hospital. And the really, really rich people got mad at him for opening up a public hospital in the hood, like what we would call in the middle of the poor neighborhoods. Because then because we were trying to get these things funded. So when you go to these places, when I went to Ukraine, I told you that 10 years ago. This is what I was debriefed on in the State Department house, is that we were, you know, they drove us from Kiev, which you see on TV, all the way to Donetsk. You probably know that it's close to Russia. And I remember getting pulled over, bribed, pulling money out in a U.S. Issue vehicle, and then sitting with Russian men who were pretending to be Ukrainian. Wow. And trying to talk them into like leaving this country alone. Wow. So I was in Ukraine. That's when 2013. I came home right after that.
How much are you close to the situation that's going on currently in the war that's going on between Russia and Ukraine?
I can't say that, but I could have told you this was going to happen 10 years ago when I went.
And what were some of the early signs?
The reason why they sent Americans over there, at that time it was Bush, he sent us over there because they had just taken the female president of Ukraine, who was 100% Ukrainian, and the Russian government took her, imprisoned her, and then inserted a Russian-Ukrainian president. Wow. So what happens is you have, Donetsk, when you really look at the, you know, they're all part of the USSR. So you just started to split them up and all that. But
they have a Democratic in a certain party. Yes, it's secular.
But they all, you know, there's a lot that live and intermingle in both.
Correct.
But some are born in Russia but grew up in Ukraine.
You have pro-Russians that live in Ukraine, and you have people that are pro-Ukraine that live in Ukraine.
They're trying to take that over
for years. So now they're just acting on it. And the other thing is, it's almost like when you're there, you can't, like, you know, you go somewhere like, y'all the same people, like y'all dance the same, because you know when you go there, you got to see they do all these dances and give you food, and they're very similar, right? But it would be the difference of like he's from Alabama and I'm from New York, right? There's some that y'all will speak the same language, but we don't speak the same language, you know. So they knew, but that was what was going on. So they brought us there, and we would go deeper and deeper and closer to Russia to meet with these big populations of rich people, which what we did everywhere, to try to
draw
piece this
some
together.
More funny.
And then it just never settled. And when I went to Sri Lanka, I get off the plane, there's Muslim revolution, you know, with their AK-47s, and you have the Hindus who are fighting, and you have Christians, because you have different religious sects that are entering in these countries, and a lot are Muslim, right? And so you had that. So the government was meeting. We stayed right across from the Capitol, and all night I'll go and look.
And you were a part of this.
They ready.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Put together by our government.
Oh, yeah.
To go over there and be like a buffer to those countries for sports and for other things.
Education, women's empowerment, AIDS.
I'm gonna get into some more things a little later on. But that's just, you know, have you ever thought about writing a book? I mean, people need to hear your story. People need to hear these things about you, especially young black girls from Dayton, Ohio. Need to hear this. They need to know that this is a woman from Jefferson Township, from your city, Dayton,
JT,
Ohio,
all day, baby.
Who has done these things? Who the government, our government, placed in your hands? Because I remember, I think you were over it, correct? Come on now.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy at times. I'd be like, man, y'all got to get what?
You were going places. You were meeting people.
Yes.
That
I was seeing.
We only see on CNN.
Yeah, you only know what you know, and for me, the exposure of travel, opens your eye. When I was growing
to
up,
see. It helps you grow as a person.
it helps you.
And
with
for you
something.
to say, I'm over here and I'm giving my shoes, my socks,
Oh, yeah.
my shorts, I'm giving what I have to these people who don't have. Man, that speaks volumes. And I'm gonna get into that later on too, because I'm in giving flowers to the living who have done great things, and you speak that. Those are your footsteps right there, and you have a story to tell. You got something to talk about. And it needs to be heard. It needs to be heard.
You the only person to get me to talk about it, though.
I mean,
Perk, no. As soon as they start talking, I'm out the pit. I cut the internet off. You know what I'm saying? I did that.
Cut the whole internet off.
That's Perk.
Facts.
I was like, oh, y'all good.
And so then you win your championships at UConn, right? You get drafted. And how was that?
I mean, it's funny I'm doing this again because it's the second interview today, and he kind of asked like about our team, and I just feel like from a women in sports standpoint, when I was born, our class, we were the first to go from 7th to 8th grade and the ABL be established, which was not the first, but one of many women's basketball leagues. So I knew I could play professional basketball, and our best team was at Columbus Quest, right? Who my boss coached. Right? So then, by the time I became a junior, and I had to pick a school, I knew the WNBA was now in existence, right? So you had to pick that school. Now that became a play card. So then we get in college, and Nike follows us. Soon as I signed my contract, my national letter of intent, the next year they went from, remember they were Reebok under, they went Nike, my freshman year. And then our Nike rep, Ray Pond, who I was just hanging out with at the Hall of Fame, she literally came to all our games. They, our experience was more like a guy's experience, because it was at the peak.
Y'all were doing it.
Yeah, we always said, man, if we was dudes, Sue was like, we wouldn't have made it. We wouldn't have made it. But and then we had Nike, and then you had ESPN with Michelle Tafoya and Robin Roberts, who's now in Good Morning Man. Those were all the people who covered our games, and so we were at the high point of when it first started with ESPN.
Y'all were
we was on that. Here's the thing.
Kicked off the rock and roll.
Yeah.
Y'all made the hype real.
Yeah, and shoe contracts. I mean, but so you get to that point.
I'm sorry. Y'all were the equivalent to the Fab Five.
That's what we called ourselves, the Fem Five.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard.
Because we brought the urban to, and Sue says that. If you look, sometimes they would try to give us name. We would like the Task Force because it was all our first names, and then Fem Five because we brought long shorts and we brought a little urban. We danced with the HBCU. We did some things that were a little bit different than what had been done before, and we made it cool for black kids to go to Connecticut, and it didn't stop.
Yes.
Now, so that. But being in the pros at that time, you have Don Staley. All of them were on their last end, but Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, Cynthia Cooper, Delisha Milton Jones. I could go Jeanette Arcane. People who were not even from Teresa Weatherspoon, Rebecca Lobo and all. You had so many, Katie Smith, our own top tier Hall of Famers on how you wanted Hall of Famers. Like I'm a Hall of Famer in the Women's Hall of Fame, and I'm a Naismith Hall of Famer type.
Say that.
Exactly.
Teresa Evans.
I go back to decorated.
Yeah, that's how you want it. So I was drafted by Minnesota Lynx, so we were in the West.
Right.
So every night I was playing Yolanda Griffin. I'm the double team. I'm the 4, so I'm coming down getting elbows and Lisa, running the floor and all that. I'm on the court. I'm from JT. I'm doing it, and I'm by myself, so I can only think. I'm saying Dayton and all that. I get to college, they like, what is that? Because to people from Dayton, what they don't know is when we go to Cincinnati, we went out of town. Okay, where you go, man? We went out of town. Where you go? Detroit. Where y'all go? Toledo. You know what I'm saying? So when going out of town is going to Cincinnati or Columbus. Yeah. Going to LA and playing after right before Kobe Bryant plays and you guarding Lisa Leslie and Mawadi Mabika and Teasley and Delisha Milne-Jones and all these people on the floor that you admired, right? Yeah. Since in the later years, because I could watch them. You don't get that experience here, that's not something a kid from Jefferson Township is supposed to experience. Right. But you got to make the right decisions. You got to keep the right people around you. You gotta have people that are going to
Stay
protect you.
grounded.
Yeah, I mean, my family kept me that because you know my family.
no choice.
It didn't. Everybody's like, "How you so humble?" I'm like,
Daddy wasn't having that.
Daddy, mama,
Mama wasn't
and my
having
brother. I mean, like
Yeah,
they
the
gonna talk you
siblings.
down. We gonna fight or you gonna talk you down. So that was never a question. But I had people like you, and I had people like you, and I had people in this city that would not let me fail.
Right.
And when my parents could be everywhere. When I'm hanging out on Gettysburg in the parking lot, my mom's Smoky Dynasty, you know, here come Darnell Hoskins. What you doing out here? I'm like, God, girl, come on, close the door. You know, like I can't do nothing. You know, I mean, I remember I was kissing my boyfriend when I was 13. My mama found me and beat the snot out of him. I'm like, I can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you where nothing gets you. My parents were firm believers in being active. I was a Girl Scout on my honor. I would try to serve God in my country and help people all the time and live by the Girl Scout law. And your face pick it up, okay? I did Taekwondo. I mean, and all my siblings will say that. But staying active and doing things keeps you out of trouble.
Yes,
And don't and you know, it might, you know, I didn't choose my family, but my family chose me, and they were a good family. That's not the case for everybody I've coached in my experiences.
Yeah.
But if you can put yourself around people who care. Right, there's somebody at your school, there's somebody at a rec center, there's somebody in your neighborhood who's always seem to do the right thing. It might just be the lady down the street to go to work every day, come home, keep her house clean. Surround yourself by people who want something, because you can dream. So when I go talk to kids, I say dream big. I'm from Jefferson Township. I live on 5036. My mama still got the same number, 41 years. They from Mobile, Alabama. Where my parents from was called the bottom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They
I've
called
been
the
to
bottom. You been to Mobile? They from the
I've been at
bottom.
Long
So
Bridge. I've been to Mobile.
if anything, I owe to them. And you know, with private schools, I went to Chaminade. My brother went to Chaminade. My sister went to Chaminade. My baby sister. Chaminade didn't pay for our tuition. That came after us. My parents paid everything on teacher salaries and owning property. So this is the least I could do for them. My dad is now here with us, and my mom has dementia. You know, so you have to surround yourself by people who care. And when it comes to making decisions, because some people say, well, you were talented or you did this, or you couldn't live a day in my shoes. Go one day and be coached by Gino. One day, half the city would have been back here. You know, because you 14 hours away. They you know, they like, you country, we can't understand you. They up there, yo, God, son, God, da. You know what I'm saying? You chicken. You know, they New York to the fullest, and I'm like, oh my God, what are they saying? I don't know. And I'm like, I'm not a chicken head. I'm too tall. More like a rooster. I'm up there with Tommy Hilfiger and Dooneyberg Purse, and they got Tim's, and I'm like, what are girls wear those? You know, I was just super girl, and so, you know, you meet people halfway, but I learned so much about myself. Nobody thought you were black. They thought you was Cuban, or, you know, they thought I was married. You know, I was sisters with this dude over here. They thought you was something. So culturally, I just learned. But don't be afraid to immerse yourself in things like that.
I was having a conversation with some of the girls I work with, and kind of told them the same, you know what I'm saying, the same thing about being involved in positive stuff. Not, you know, I know how hard it is because of social media and stuff like that, but I was telling them the exact same thing. And I mentioned you and a couple of other females and stuff that we know that came from this, and just because they put themselves around the right people, that they was being successful. And they literally was like, we don't have nobody, you know what I'm saying, to look up to give them that positive guidance. But I told them, like you, the lady down the street, you know, the lady at the store, the lady that you see at church that you go by past.
That's
you
right.
always say something about it. Those are people that you need to gravitate to, because they can give you real life. You know, I can only go so far because I'm a man, but you need to be around, you know, we preach mentors and being around the right people all the time.
Yeah, that's who it is. It's the superhero everywhere.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk about your parents for a second. Your mom and dad. I mean, two beautiful people.
Oh yeah.
Again, like I said, your mom was my teacher, and I just remember having her in class, and she always would look after me, and I was always a protector in her class. When they would act a fool in class, and she would look at me, she would give me that look, and I'd get up and, you know, sit down, be quiet, you know, because Miss Williams took care of me, and I love her with my heart. Your dad was just, you know, may he rest, continue to rest, was just a good good man who didn't sit around and just talk about my kids playing ball. He didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about that. We talked about other things and just, life things and food.
Oh yeah, we gonna get you some food now.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that and just, to have that ground, that ground that you had, you were grounded because you had educators for parents who believed in that. Your mother believed in, and she ruled with a ruler.
She sure did. Or a belt.
A belt. She didn't have a problem with hitting you. No. I mean, she would come and she would give you that big old beautiful smile and hit you at the same time.
She sure would.
Sit down. I told you. Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Williams.
Absolutely.
I got you.
Yep.
I mean, you and your siblings didn't have a choice.
Nah. Because she was going to knock you out.
It was like she was more the aggressor than your dad was.
Oh, it wasn't even close. Dad never put a hand on me. The only time my dad hit me, now y'all gotta understand. Now they had a few, like my mama said, they had a few Catholic mistakes. Okay, so they got Mike, and then 3 years later we had Tangy.
Right. Yeah.
9 years later, Meek show up and they
go.
What up? And my dad always say, man, I was about to divorce your mom, and then when they turned 43 and 44, mom got pregnant with Tiff. Okay, so there's a 6. I'm the ultimate middle child.
Yes.
Okay.
Because there's a gap.
Because there's a huge gap between me and the older and me and the younger. And so, my parents they had to stay young. They stayed younger longer because they had kids. They had older kids, so they was always hip. They never judged. They would always accept people in our house. They would always tell you, everybody got one in the family. Don't you up there judge? Don't think just because we done got this and work hard, we got some crack. We got everything. My mom just would keep it real. She would tell you that. I'm not Carrie here. She don't waver from that. So she would never allow us to be judgmental. And then I just saw my parents open up to so many different types of people. Yeah. So I didn't know to be judgmental or to take my gift. Because it was a gift from God and do that.
They were never judgmental because
she's
back then in that time, I was talked about so bad by so many different people. I was perceived as this kind of person or that kind of person. And like I say, I have a history. We all have a past. I was in the streets. I was doing wrong. But your mother and your father never judged me. They opened their doors and told me, come on in.
Oh, yeah.
What you want to eat?
Give you a hug.
What you got? What you need. And I love that for them, that they treated me like that, without just pointing the finger. Because there was some people at Colonel White that were against me, but your mother never let that influence her on how she felt about me.
She never did. My mom is not going to, if somebody treats somebody one way, her relationship with you is going to be different. That's what she told me. My relationship with Carrie, regardless of what Carrie's, me and Carrie good. If you got an issue with Carrie, then you need to go talk to Carrie about it. So my mom was just like that. And my dad was the same way. And he was a little bit, but my mama would knock you out. Like I remember I was getting a little fast, I had me a little couple too many boyfriends. And I remember she's like, you can't go to this particular house around the corner because that lady let boys all up in the house. So you know me, I'm going to the house. All right, so I'm in the house. My mom would come in there with a belt. The only thing is, her mom would beat them too. My mom would beat me on in front of all the Ballard boys, all the way down the driveway, got me in the car, beat me in the car, and home. What I learned out of that, don't go over there and be fast.
Don't go over there again.
Don't be fast. And then a couple years later, that girl was pregnant. So mama,
she
like
knew what she was talking about.
She did sometimes, what I'm saying? She did. She saved me. Y'all used to save me, what I'm saying? Used to save me.
I mean, she knew what she was talking about. But
she couldn't go nowhere without us.
Nah, I ain't go nowhere.
Yeah,
To this day.
She was heavily guarded.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I say that not in like monetary of weight value, but you guys really hold the crown when it comes to protecting.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like precious values and assets. I mean, you guys were also in charge of protecting Tupac and Biggie, so you were in great company.
Yeah. I mean, but like for Tamika, it was personal because my relationship with her parents, and then my relationship with her, because Tamika has you have such a glow about yourself, a personality, that you're outgoing, you're warm, you're inviting. I think with you being a head coach is your calling, because I know the women, those young ladies are like looking at you like I'm looking at you. And I don't know if they really know your whole story, which I doubt that you even indulged and told them about. You know, they probably had to do their own little history on you. But that still doesn't tell your story on who you are. You tell your story just by how you communicate and talk to people. Because I think you can be at a Power 5 school coach as a head coach and probably get one to be a top recruiter like your girl down at North Carolina State. I think you could do something like that because she seems to be that kind of person that relates to her players. I saw her on the video trying to do the greedy.
Oh yeah.
That's you.
Oh, he was doing.
That's you. That's you.
Wait. I know I didn't see you.
We did that.
I know I didn't see you just hitting it. They just hitting it.
Listen. Now, I saw her when I went to go watch her coach her game. I saw her over there. And I'm just sitting there again, like I'm sitting here with my mouth open, and I'm sitting there watching you. And I'm seeing how those girls are relating to you and how you call time out and they're just right up under you and they're gravitating to you. That tells me, you know, as a coach, first off, we know we got to evolve.
Absolutely.
We have to evolve with the times and we have to be able to be transparent, change with the times.
Oh, yeah.
We got to listen to the baby.
Oh, yeah.
Little baby, Dolph, and all them.
Yeah,
That's what they're listening to.
You better know.
So you got to know some of these things to relate to them.
Yep.
Not have to be a social media giant, but you have to understand social media because sometimes you might have to do a couple of TikTok videos.
Oh, I had to at the end of the year. They had me up there doing the drop it like it's hot and the gritty. What they had to do. I had to be a Beyonce one time.
When you do those things,
they love it.
They buy in.
Oh yeah, they love it.
They buy into you, and I could see you being at a Power 5. But I think that what you're doing now, you're okay with.
Yeah, whatever job. Yeah,
and I saw that. Yeah. I saw that on your face, like, oh, my baby's happy.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good wherever you stick.
I'm like you. We're talking about a personal coach now. After you left the pros from playing in the pros, and I'm trying to stay on task here. I know
I went straight. I opened the company, but I worked for ESPN for 4 years after.
Yes, I remember that. You worked for ESPN. Yep. I mean, damn, girl, you got a. I'm looking at your cuss.
I only just stopped because it was too.
You got a store. You work for ESPN. You went there now. Did Black Girls Rock?
Oh yeah, that was fun. Black Girl Magic. I did that, toured all over the world.
Yes,
that was fun.
You're going to. Was it New York?
Yeah, everywhere. The LA. I was at Essence West.
Like,
that was fun.
Yes,
Chicago.
I'm following you and everything you're doing. You may not know I'm following you.
Yeah.
But everything that you're doing,
it was fun.
I'm watching.
Yeah.
And I'm proud. I'm like a proud big brother.
Yeah, that's
like,
fun.
Damn, look at me. And I'm watching the show.
Oh, so I did Black Girl Magic and then Black Girl Rock did the show. They did they used to,
And I'm watching.
Oh yeah,
I'm watching you.
I forgot all about that. I remember I had to go down the red carpet. This is fun. This is when you knew I was from Dayton. I used to have nice clothes, but I didn't spend a lot on them. You know what I'm saying? It was what was in them. You know what I'm saying? And I was gonna have me a nice little purse, and I had to wear some shoes. I wear 11, so I ain't gotta have no beat feet. My daddy says they be big, but they can't be big and ugly. Okay, that was rude. So I went and bought a dress from like Nordstrom Rack. It was like $40. And you know, you had to hit the red carpet. They be like, "What are you wearing? Oh my God, you look so beautiful. Who did your makeup?" And I said something like Jazay or so. I just said something. I just threw a name out there like Jazay, and I was like, "Yeah." I did my own makeup. I did my own hair. You know, like, you know.
I mean, but come on, you're beautiful.
I don't know, because you should have told me I was gonna be. I didn't know we was gonna be in here. I should have put some makeup on.
You look amazing. You look amazing.
I was like, dang. You see, I just put a little bit. I was like, let me put some.
You're not a person that needs that.
Yes.
Your personality got us all better. Like, man, we need you back.
You know, hey, don't tell me that.
On God and them.
You know, you are who you are.
Not God. I'm about to say, my God and them disciples. We need her back. Swear to God,
you shine.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, whatever you do, you shine. You've always been like this.
Yes.
No matter what, you shine. You know, just watching you when you won the state, you shine. You know, you won the national championship, you shine. When you got drafted, you shine. You the Black Girl Rock Magic.
Yeah.
Black Girl Magic.
I do remember that.
You shine.
I
I
forgot.
seen you standing out there and signing every autograph that was in high school when y'all won the state. You signed autograph. And I think when you won the first national, you came.
Yep.
And they had something that you
Signed
like
everything.
signed until nobody else wants your autograph.
Yeah.
Like, anybody else? Because I'm about to go. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? Literally just signing and talking to them.
See, that's why I kept them around to remember that, because I'm getting old. The only thing I remember about winning national championship is Brandy Hoskins, because she was supposed to be here, right?
Brandy Hoskins.
And so Brandy followed me around everywhere. There were a group of young black girls that when I was in high school. Brandy Hoskins, Isha Jefferson, it was another Tamari Walker. Like, it was a couple of them, that Tiara Stevens. It was a lot of them, right? And they would follow me everywhere. Okay. They used to come up and run the river with us in Chaminade, our preseason river, and they would come and run the river with us. And they were all, a couple years younger than me. But after we won the first national championship, you have your cell phone. It's free nights and weekends, you know what I'm saying, at 8 o'clock. So then it was always late. I tell you not a lie, you win whatever, you have to go to president call and whatever. And then you get back to the locker room and it just hit you. And I ran and got my phone. And I ran in the bathroom. And I called Brandy Hoskins, who I knew watched every moment of that game. Right. And I was like, we did it. She's like, Brandy emotional. And for y'all who don't know, she could cry at us. She would say, oh my God, it means so much. I can't believe I watched this. And I just it felt really good to win it, because it takes a lot to be dominant.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's easy to win, but it's hard to win and keep winning and then everybody expect it. And then because you get everybody's best, okay?
Everybody's best.
But that moment when Brandy Hoskins was she was gurgling spit. Like, I knew every little, because I know the boys was watching, I know y'all was, but all the little girls that was following me was watching that. And guess what? They all went Power 5. Yeah. Isha went to Michigan State, and Samari went to Connecticut, and Brandy went to Ohio, and I coached Brandy. And then Tiara Stevens went to Wisconsin. They all, almost did. And Brandy, I wish Brandy was here so she could tell you the story.
She said she was coming.
She's
gonna be finished training in time.
She big time now. She was gonna quit, and I literally was like, Shalisa, don't open this door. And I about beat that child down. We literally was fighting. I was a coach. I was like, you ain't quit. What you gonna go back to? Dayton? You gonna work at the shop?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they gotta say Delco Moraine because they ain't know the shop. You gonna work in the shop? What you gonna do? It's nothing for us back there. I can't go back and live. Where I'm gonna live with my mama?
Right.
And daddy, you can't give this up. Can't stop. And that sucker just did. Then after that.
So let me ask you this,
unreal.
Tamika. The state of females, and that's one thing I want to, touch on, with this being Women's Month.
Mm-hmm.
What state do you think the city, the area of female basketball, I don't know, what state do you think it's in right now?
I think it's in a rebound state. I think for a second I get nervous, not necessarily from the pros, as the discrepancy.
Young ladies to play the game.
That state. That's in a scary state.
Thank you.
I thought you meant I was gonna start from.
I'm saying
just because you have.
That's a bar though. You say it's in a rebound state. You talking about basketball? I'm just saying.
Yeah. I thought he was talking about the higher. You talking about the young, grassroots.
It's a scary state because you don't have, maybe in the suburbs you got programs.
Oh yeah.
But in the inner city,
you have nothing.
There's nothing. Since Wolfie, I told Wolfie, I said, I think you might need to start your program back up. If you love girls basketball so much, like you say you do, maybe your calling is not coaching high school. Mm-hmm. Maybe your calling is that, because we need those kind of programs.
I'm telling you.
Around here to get young ladies interested in playing the game. Yeah. When you look and you see a travel program with 8 kids on the team.
Yeah, I mean,
Dunbar,
nobody. Barely.
Six kids barely. Belmont, maybe 6 kids.
You couldn't have told me that was going to happen 20 years ago.
That's not good.
You cutting kids. You had freshman reserve and varsity.
Yeah, you were cutting kids.
You were cutting kids.
And now, there's no, there's no real just premier basketball players that's coming out of here. Like I see some girls playing. I'm not gonna say names, and they're pretty good ball players, but
it's not what you used to.
Their game is not evolving
right
the way it should. I think AAU now has got to the point where we're just gonna roll the ball out here and play. It's not, let's get fundamentals, let's get the game together, let's
who can give me a scholarship?
Yeah, just, I'm trying to play for a scholarship and that's it.
That's it.
I'm gonna shoot this thing. That's what
Yep.
I'm gonna do.
Yep.
And I think it's in a very scary state.
It's in a scary. I mean, me coming back, and some of it is just because I've coached so much. I've been on elite level, so I get to pick from the cream. I'm not gonna lie to you. Then taking this job, I've been able to go. So if anybody want to get in contact with me, my mama live at 50. You can find my email. I'll come talk to anybody if I have to Zoom, FaceTime, because I love talking to kids, especially from this area. But there's no Westwood. There's no. I mean,
Right.
I met Payne Yellow back there at the YMCA 25 years ago
Payne Yellow.
in Jefferson Township.
You are so
All right.
Something's wrong with her, bro.
You know what I'm saying? We love yellow paint here. That's ours. You know what I mean? We love you. We got paint yellow in the house and the real yellow paint.
Back up.
That's the backup. We love you. Dayton's always gonna love you.
She funny as
but I do think a place like Westwood. So this was my day, and not a lot of people might not know this. This is how I met Wolfie. Well, this is one way me and Wolfie got really, really close. I would leave Chaminade. I had my little putt maroon Dynasty. This is smoke.
Yeah.
I used to get in there. I would go to rallies on Hoover and Gettysburg.
Yep.
And get 2 for $5 big Bufors. I would eat them joints, and then I would drive to Westwood back down the street, and I would go in there and play basketball until I couldn't breathe. I did that for about 2.5 years, and that last year was my recruiting year. So my mom and them had a rule: you couldn't call after 9. Back then, you had no cell phones.
Right.
So my mom knew she at Westwood. So what I would do, because the first week you like good, but I got recruited by every Division I school in America, and I was offered by them. So they all wanted to talk, right? There was no social media. There was no cell phones. So I would just come back home at like 9, 10. So I didn't have to talk to them.
Right.
So I would stay there until Wolfie and them closed it, or Brandy would be up there. Her dad would be up there. They would just hang. We would hang out in the parking lot because they knew I didn't want to go home. But we would play. Wolfie would open the gym up. He pythons. I played against a lot of guys there. That I had Deshaun Hadley was my boyfriend. He because he rebounded for me, but he lived across the street. Like it all made sense.
What a great boyfriend.
It all made sense for me. So, but. Those another time I needed to be like I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be on the phone all the time. I wanted to play ball. I wanted to get better. And Wolfie was a person that opened up that gym, and they don't do that. I play pick.
Shoot,
I'd be at Princeton.
His name was Willie Bailey, and I was working at Valerie Elementary, and Willie is a gym teacher over there. So Willie now opens up the gym on Friday nights, and he gets kids in there, girls and boys, and they're playing basketball on Friday nights. And my thing is to, like, DPS. Our rec centers are failing us.
Yeah. Are they even open anymore? Like, is Princeton open?
Kinda.
Like, Terry used to have me. I used
You
to be
gotta
at
pay to
Princeton
play.
playing against drug dealers.
You gotta pay to play. Like with Roosevelt Commons, you pay a monthly fee.
They rent out the gyms to
bet.
the suburb schools, to all them little rec places out in the suburbs. They rent them out to them. So they come in there, it's about the dollar deal. And so who gets lost in that? Our city kids. So with that being said, I'm like, okay, Dayton, DPS, we have the facilities. Open these gyms up. Let these young kids go in these gyms, especially these young ladies, and let them play ball, because we are missing the feeder programs for these teams. Because you got to introduce it. For you to play, you got to get introduced to it. And if there's no for you to go to play and get introduced to it, how you gonna know if you like it or not?
Right.
A buddy of mine, Tavon Lovett, he coaches a girls team. I think they just won like 55 straight games. Young ladies, 5th grade.
Oof.
And he posted something today talking about now that he's won 55 games and he's doing all this with these young ladies because his daughter's on the team. And now you got all these vultures from the suburbs are trying to get these young ladies. Yeah. And they're trying to get them. He's like, damn, y'all coming after these girls now.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm doing all this leg work to get them, and you know, he's looking at the parents like, damn, y'all want to entertain them because they weren't coming at you before. You know, now they're coming at you because you know we done beat Arrow, we done knocked off the Centervilles, we done knocked off the Faramonts. We're knocking off all these teams, but we don't have that in the heart of the city. We don't have that program, and Wolfie had that program.
He sure did.
And I'm saying this, and I'm putting them out there.
And Keisha Foster,
Yeah,
God rest her soul.
yes.
I mean, I would go up there and play. I had places to play. Terry, he'd be like, if somebody touch her, she get hurt, I'm gonna kill you. You know.
You had those people, and I talk about that all the time. I talk about those people, those legendary people that I wish they were still. We could get in the flowers. Those people like Fletcher Powers.
Yep.
The people over at Roosevelt. The
Yep.
people at Princeton. All those people at Westwood, who and Moses. All those people that protected our young, our youth, by opening those gyms, by putting them in them vans, taking them home, checking them grades. You can't play unless there was no eligibility. But you can't play if you got D's and F's.
Yep.
You're not gonna play.
Yep.
And they stood their ground, and we don't have that anymore. We're missing that, and it's so bad. And I think Wolfie, with his desire and the way he has the passion for it,
He sure does.
he can make this happen. He can redevelop this, because I think the last young lady to leave from here that was a part of his program that is like a monster is Cece.
Yeah.
Cece, I think Cece is going to go in the draft.
Oh yeah, and she's gonna be a pro. She's gonna make some money off these. So
She's gonna get-
Ohio State, we don't
CeCe
want to see CeCe.
CeCe
CeCe
can
came and
flat
took
out
our life every year.
play.
She can go.
CeCe
That was it.
can play.
He getting back in slowly,
But I mean, I don't see.
but he got it. I mean, it's hard to come back and see. I mean, think about what we started off talking about. We played Trotwood. They had 3 Power 5 kids on the team. That's what the city. Dunbar had a million of them. You know what I'm saying? Patterson had 3 or 4.
Girls games
Tusk.
were jumping.
I mean, like sold out.
Yeah, they were jumping.
You know, we used to have sold out games, like
Competitive.
about to kill each other.
Now Trotwood beat Dunbar this year 83-3 or something.
Oh no,
like
we
that.
were never gonna be that.
Right. And
Somebody gonna
that's
fight.
crazy.
You know, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's just never gonna happen.
That's just crazy. And you gotta, but you're walking in the hallway just trying to get a girl to come play basketball. Just come play. You like an athlete, come play.
Nah.
But they haven't played before, so they getting out there. They don't know.
Yeah, they're
pick
not
and
gonna.
rolls.
Yeah, nah. You
the
gotta start
boxing
that.
out. They don't know all those things.
Yep.
So when you got some girls that have been playing together for a long time,
Yeah.
they're gonna beat the snot out you.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna do that,
Yeah.
and those scores were just like it's heartbreaking to see stuff like that, because and then you go to the game, and there's 10 people in the game total.
Oh no.
It ain't because of COVID.
Yeah.
That's because nobody's interested and nobody's going.
Yeah.
And that's not good. But I think we need
I used to
that
be
kind
hot.
of program back.
Yeah.
And we need those kind of people to.
But you got to
come
open
back
up the
and-
facilities.
But that's the number one
That
thing.
was-
That's one thing me and
I had
Brandy
somewhere to
talked
go.
about. That's what me and Brandy talked about. That she's been kicked out of so many places.
She
here
sure
on the
has.
West Side,
Yep.
that she now has to train in Xenia, and she was over at Roosevelt training, and she said, first off, you got to make a living, and she said she was training, and she got 20 girls, 10 of them are for free, because they just don't have the money to pay, but they want to learn the game, and that's awesome,
Yeah.
but then for her to get kicked out and not be able to do it.
Yeah, and that's
So
right.
now, who's this hurt? And I always say that our school districts, our urban school districts, talk about, it's all about the kids. Everybody's slogan, it's about the kids. But who are we sadly hurting? The kids. Because we don't have the Tamikas anymore. We don't have the Brandys anymore. We don't have the Tanya McDowells. We don't have those kind of players anymore. Because there's nobody developing them at a young age. And then you got the guys like Wolfie, and he's like the guy at Belmont coaching. That's my friend, and he's doing a hell of a job. He's trying his best
Yep.
to develop these girls, but he can't keep girls to play because some girls are like, "Oh, I got to work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's something you do.
I can't. I got to go work."
Yeah.
And that's that's messed up.
It is.
That's sad. And I blame our districts because you got to invest.
And it
You
can't
gotta
be in high
invest in
school. By that time, it's too late.
Yeah, it's too late. You got to invest at a young age.
Yeah.
Where middle school, not even middle school. I'm talking about
Yeah. Yeah.
fourth,
Skills and
fifth,
drills.
sixth grade. Yes.
Skills and drills.
Yes, you got to invest then. I see Rennie over at training little girls and boys in the gym, and You know, he's working with young ladies, but they're in the suburbs. They're suburb kids. They're not city kids. But our families don't know to get them out there. Now, I'm not an AAU fan. I'm not an AAU fan unless they're playing on the elite level. I'm not that kind of, because I don't believe in little kids traveling every week out of town somewhere to go play some basketball. It costs a lot. And then some of these, you know, these people are selling these kids dreams.
Oh yeah.
That's not reality. Like, you know, no, you need to go play
pick up with Trona Tobet 6'9" and Sharon Beauchamp. That's what catch elbows. That's what I was doing. You know, so, I was in the center catching elbows from the old heads.
Yes, from Tobet.
Tobet's
knowledge.
Let me tell you, I called Tobet the other day, and Tobet delivers every time. But that was who I was playing against.
I mean, I coached with Tobet at Trotwood for a couple of years, and just sitting there coaching with Tobet, it was just like. And I remember her at Colonel White just being the GOAT at Colonel White, then going to UD and doing the thing at UD, and just her passion right now that she has for women's basketball.
Absolutely,
it's just
that's who taught me. You know, that's who I played with. And Trona.
I mean, it's I'll say this: there is a community of women's basketball. You all have a network of each other that you all follow each other. There's no hating going on. There's no.
They be like the
she
man.
thinks she did this.
Nah,
it's none of that. I look at Rhonda. I look at all these women.
Latina Harris.
I remember the thing for Trona, and everybody showed up.
Oh yeah.
It was all love.
Yeah.
You know, and like everybody gives each other the love, and everybody gives you the GOAT.
Yeah. Well, I'm the GOAT because of opportunity. You know, you had some dogs back. You had the opportunity to. I'm not saying I was horrible.
Advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, but also I don't know if it wasn't a pro league when all them came.
No, but I'm not discussing pros. I'm not even.
Okay.
About pros.
Okay.
I'm
Gotcha.
talking about your accomplishments.
Oh yeah.
From AAU just to even high school to getting recruited. You know, you were dominant. I mean, I'm getting back to you playing basketball. You were like top in field goal percentage. You're number one, like at UConn. Am I not?
Yeah, probably number one at UConn, or maybe number one or two ever. Because I think Ogumike's next
one. In the country in field goal percentage. I mean, AP, I'm talking about some crazy numbers.
I'm pull it up.
Oh, look, there go the fact check.
Who checking?
Oh, he gonna fact check.
The number one. You are the number one. Yeah, for sure. I just looked it up.
Okay,
I thought it was,
look up. Can you see?
You a lie.
I just looked it up. I just looked it up.
That's what Google said.
What you mean?
I'm NBA.
Yeah.
In field goal percentage.
Yeah, rookie year was good for me. I had a lot of rebounds and scored a lot. Considering I'm not a lot, but you know, as a rookie,
you were proficient.
I had to be. You had to find a way. I mean, the one thing I ended up playing with Teresa Edwards, and she's another Hall of Famer, best ever do it. She was 40. See. And we went to, it was our starting point guard on our playoff team. Okay, we gave her a cane when she turned 40. I remember that in the locker room. But that sucker could pick apart anything. But she would always get on the big bigs. You know, I was like a 4'3", and then we had these young big bigs, you know, fives, and they were still trying to find us. And I just finished real quick. Like I could rip through. You know, I just had a little bit of game and whatever. I could shoot. I get my shot. But this is
I got your accolades right here in front of us. If you want to run it down real quick.
Go ahead and spit them out.
So we got WCA High School Player of the Year 1998. We got Ohio Miss Basketball 1998, awarded by Ohio High School Basketball Coaches Award. Yes. I'm reading your accolades.
I know she was.
Remember Jason did the same thing to me?
That's fake news.
Ohio Miss. Congratulations.
That's fake news.
So Ohio Miss Basketball, awarded by Ohio Miss Basketball Coaches Association. That was Coaches Award. You got 2008 Don Staley Community Leadership Award, awarded annually to the WNBA player whose best exhibits the characteristics of a leader in the community. You are a 2013 inductee of Ohio Basketball Hall of Fame and the number one scorer in UConn.
Relax.
It's all on there.
You shouldn't believe what you read on the internet.
But here's the thing.
She gonna cut it off, man. She gonna cut it off.
Here's the thing.
I
know these things are true.
Perk, we have an internet person in here.
I know these things are true. So, you know.
Perk, who are you?
I know these things
Are you old enough?
I was watching. I was there. I was locked in on everything you did in your career. From
I didn't
I
know.
was locked in.
Didn't know you was old enough.
Yeah, I was there. Like, okay, Tamika. Yeah,
Now he's probably like, hey, after the game, go home.
Yeah,
That's
right.
right.
Ass home. We ain't gonna be out here doing all this.
I know they're
Get your ass off the hill.
When we saw her dress, I think it was the homecoming or prom. We was like, a dress? Like you got a dress on though? Like,
Boo, she was cute
like,
too.
Yeah,
She was cute.
Ball player, nothing. Like,
When I put it on, you know she was cute.
Yeah, we was like,
Who was that? You thought I was my mama.
And you had me at the.
Hey.
I mean,
Right?
She was outside though. She was inside dancing at the prom, but we was still outside though, just in case somebody.
What was gonna break out? What was gonna happen?
I mean,
nothing was gonna happen to you with
Exactly.
those two guys.
Everybody
Nothing.
knew they was somewhere in the vicinity.
Eric couldn't hurt you with
Like
them two
Tamika
guys
can't
around.
come.
Eric couldn't hurt you with them two guys
It's
around.
like Tamika can't come. Tamika can't come. I'll be in JT. No, I can't say their names, but
coaching. You
Same.
started off coaching at
the Ohio State
the
University.
Ohio State.
We were the worst team in the Big Ten, and then we won 6 Big Ten championships in a row.
You went to Kentucky.
I went to University of Kansas for 2
that's
years.
right, Kansas.
Yep. And then we went to the NIT and then Sweet 16. And then Kentucky got upset by University of Dayton. We were 2 seed. But we went to tournament every year, Sweet 16. But we got upset. That's when every year they went to Elite Eight. They were really good. And then I went to Penn State for 2 years.
Penn State.
3 or 4 years, I think.
I think that was a nice run for you.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
'Cause
then
we would talk a couple times because
Yeah.
I was asking you about the football coach.
Oh, yeah,
And
Coach-
you were
Penn
telling
State
me
was 3
about
years.
Franklin. 3 years. Coach
2016, 2019.
There you go. Coach
the
Franklin.
fact checker. I'm telling you, he
Coach
know,
Franklin.
he know more about you right now than you do.
He's on that's fake news. He's on to intranet.
And then you went back to Ohio State.
Then I went back to the Ohio State University.
The Ohio State.
And the only reason I left there, my mom got sick.
Right.
And with that dementia, they only get a certain amount of time. So I was just gonna take time off. Think about this, young people, listen to this. Hey, young world, the world is yours. You better know. You too young for that. All right. So
That's a compliment. I looked
all
at
right.
you.
So, 20 years ago, I was drafted by Brian Adler. He's from Prospect, Ohio. He coached. He just got done coaching Candace Parker, won a world championship in Super, and then he started off with me. And I'm talking to him about I can't do this with my mom like this. I gotta. Right. I got to get closer to her, or I got to, she's not, this time it's going to go. He said, well, why don't you come up here to our facility? And, if you haven't been to Wittenberg, just call me. I'll take you on a tour. All right. And I go up there and I'm like, Brian, this is not, COVID had just been over. So Brian would bring me down there here and there. And then we go eat. I like a good bourbon, good cigar. So I'm up there and he would take me to, I'm like, what is, like, BA, we cool, but, his wife, everybody. And then I get down there maybe the 3rd or 4th time, and he's like, I think you should be, we need a coach. I said, what coach? He said, a head basketball coach. And, I don't know nothing about D3 at this point. And I was like, oh, I can't help you. What you looking for? What you looking for? What you need? Give me the bullet points. Give me the bullet points. He's like, no, I think you. I was like, oh, me a head coach. Brian, come on, He's like, no, I think it'd be good to be just enough head coach for you. We got this, and this, and this, and I'm gonna back it, and you guys will be fine. And the university wants to see the good, and they've been good. This has been a while, but they've had some tradition. And what about AD? Do you want to? I was like, He was like, I'm going to do that because I think you'll be good to help everybody else and to learn and, whatever. So then I meet with the president. He adds a senior associate AD. Okay, so now I wear these 2 hats. Moral of the story is, young people, the reason why he called me to hire me is because he saw me as a little snotty-nosed rookie that wasn't afraid to be a leader in the locker room. And the person I went at is now my dear friend. Hopefully she's watching this, Katie Smith.
Shout out to Katie
And
Smith.
I went off with Katie, halfway through, and Katie ended up getting traded. And then we went to started going to the playoffs. So, but he hired me because of that. And we stayed in contact for 20 years.
You called me. You said, keep this under your hat.
Oh, yeah.
The Wittenberg head coach. I'm like, what? So again, I'm back there and I'm on the other end of the line celebrating, happy for you. And you like, keep it under your hat.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Really? Damn.
Yeah. Hey, that's the first time you got kicked off Facebook. Tamika made. I told you to kick me off. Kick him off.
I'm like, and then I couldn't show up for the thing because I was dealing with some things. So I couldn't show up, so that bothered me. But just
you showed up though. You showed up. It was a game I was not very happy, so I was happy that you said, "Man, you coached them real good." Because I'll be over there going like Perk. Perk could tell you some stories where the cameras go off about Tamika.
After that game, Perk, right?
I was mad.
She's walking off the court, and Brandon is sitting right there. Brandon McKinney sitting right there.
We just hired him,
and I'm still there, like, because I was gonna leave at the end of the third quarter, and I said, I can't leave at the end of the third quarter. I have to give my baby some love for coaching this game. It's a tournament game. And I said, I got to give her some love. And I'm looking like, you walking out, you kind of angry because y'all gave up a big lead.
Yes, I was mad.
And I said, ooh. So you walking off, and I was like, I know this motherfucker ain't and I'm over here sticking me. I'm sitting on the side court. I'm sitting with a media sit. I'm sitting right there like Brandon said, Tamika, you looked at me and smiled. Get your ass over here.
Yeah, you got them. You better. I saw you before the game started. I saw you, and Brian put you right there in the front. So I said, I'm good. But as the game went on, we ended up winning. It ended up helping us because we ended up going to NCAAs. We got our ring. But I was so mad. But when I saw you saved the team because it just changed my. It's Carrie, and then I mellowed out a little bit, but. You didn't have to do that. Like, yes, I said, you just be showing up, and
I didn't know y'all were playing. So
you did?
I went live. I was at Springfield.
Oh my God!
Watching our Trotwood boys playing. I was supporting our football players that played, and so I'm over there, and I went live, and I'm like, I'm at the game. Blah, 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 and Brandon saw it, and Brandon said, "Hey,
come down the street
at 8:00.
Shut the front door."
I was like, well, shit, I ain't got nothing else to do.
Yeah, we're right down the street.
I told the kids that was with me, I said, hey, we're going over to the game at Wittenberg. They like bet, so they get over there.
They looking at the girls.
They try to talk to all the girls.
They thirsty.
They mother 15 years old. They lying to these girls. They trying to talk to
I'm 19 and a half.
Yeah. My nephew, one of them, he 15, talking about, yeah, I told her I was 18. Whatever. But they sat back there and we laughed, and I'm like, but they just rolled with me, and we sat there, and I enjoyed every minute of it, sitting there with Wolfie, because Wolfie swears he's the guru.
Oh yeah, you already know. That's Naismith.
He's swearing in the Spank.
That's John Wooden.
He's talking to everybody.
Coach K. He's Coach K.
Calling folks behind your
He sure is.
And I'm like, hey man, will you let them be?
Yeah, he was.
Would you quit bothering folks? Then he ate my pretzel.
Oh yeah.
And then he like, oh, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she told you get.
Yeah, I see you at the game.
So, it was really nice seeing you in your element. Mm-hmm. It was nice seeing you in your element, and I loved it. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing I want to do for you. Like I said, I like giving people their flowers. Mm-hmm. And you spoke on some of your flowers, just, when you're over in Africa and you're giving your clothes away. Mm-hmm. The way you mentored young ladies, far and near. Mm-hmm. The things that you have done for this community to uplift women's sports, the things that you've done abroad across the world to be a representative of a black woman, Black Girls Rock, and then to carry yourself in such a distinguished way. Before I go there, I'm sorry, I jumped. You're in like your own little love and basketball.
Oh.
You
got it.
You got your.
Let's go. Let's win again. That's hard.
You met him and you told me like, Carrie, this is the one.
It's the one. I got it right, boo.
He is it right now.
Yes, his name is Richard. He real cute. And he's a baller. He got a nice, he's a shooter. You know what I'm saying? Don't look at him right now. He's a bucket.
He's a walking bucket.
He ain't never beat me, but he is a bucket. And he played, so he went to Oklahoma initially out of school. He wanted to go to Indiana but to play for Bobby Knight. But Bobby, that's when he got in trouble, so he ended up going to Oklahoma. Didn't think you had to go to school. And he'll tell you this story. He has a really good story. Fails out, of course. They send him back. He goes to JUCO at Metro. At that time, those JUCO, Pensacola, Metro, all those, they were booming. They had pros. So he went straight from, that's when I met him. Actually, I was playing pickup. Rhonda was down there at Life. I was down, Tangi and Jennifer and all them was down there. You know, that's back then, Freak Dick days. I mean, y'all used to be on Highway. Yeah. You know? Hey, Carrie's like, yeah. That was the thing. Okay, so we go. So and right, I went down there and I actually met him in 2001, right before my senior year, because we were playing pickup. And he's like, "You so cute to be a basketball player." And I was in the older men then, so I was like, "This little boy, oh my goodness, he all in my face." And I
said, "Man, wait till this beard grow in."
Old man boyfriend back in Connecticut, so I was like, "Okay, you so cute," whatever. So that's actually when I first met him, and then he used to call me, but I only had free nights and weekends, and I'm not picking up when my old man friend is, there. So that fizzled out, and then we saw each other again when we were both pros. He was playing in the summer league because he went from junior college to the NBA. Mm-hmm. And he was in the summer league when it was in Minneapolis, and that was a great summer. And then he ended up going back to the NBA, and then he started going overseas. He actually went to Ukraine first. Okay. And then we kind of fizzled out. And then he got married, I got married, and he got divorced, and I got divorced. And then on social media, that was my biggest thing when I got divorced. I was like, how am I going to get my name back? Like, I can't. And my people own an insurance agency, and they were like, we got it, don't worry about it. So, the ladies in there shut it down, boom, 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 flip it back on. It said Williams. Well, he only person that caught it. Now, there was some other thirst buckets out there, they caught it a month or two in, right. You know what I'm saying? But he called it, and I was like, who is this? And then I remember sending, like, Rhonda, who is this? And Asia, like, because he's like, remember me in Atlanta? And Asia was like, Rhonda was like, remember, that's the dude that was blowing me up, trying to get in contact with you, and I was telling you in Connect. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then he came to visit me because he was on his way to retiring because he played forever. And the rest is history. Like, we just kind of met 2 boys later.
Remember we talking?
Yeah.
I'm like, who is this dude you with? And you like, this is RJ.
Uh-huh.
This is, and you like, this is it, Carrie.
Yeah, I'm done.
Guy. I'm telling you, this is the guy. And so, I'm just going to support anything you do. But to me, I've watched y'all grow over years together. And it's just, every time I see y'all, and it's like you made your own love of basketball.
It is love of basketball. And he's a lot like me. He gives a lot. To young people. He works with young people every day. Yeah. Free, paid, drive halfway across the world. I just want to work out. I be like, gas is $4. Like, he be like, I know, but still, man, he need to work out. He's that guy. He loves basketball. Yeah. And then we got 2 sons that drive me crazy. Let me tell you, y'all can have them. Anybody want 2 boys? And I guarantee, the pedigree is in there. But they crazy.
And how old is little RJ now?
RJ's about to turn 7 in June, and JoJo's gonna turn 3 in May. They drive me crazy. I was raised with sisters. Mike don't really count. He was 11 when I was born. So that's my homie. But like raising young men, like that's all I do is clean toilet seats. And y'all shark a little bit more than most. Yeah, just like what?
Late at night, you might miss a little
y'all just stand. I'm like, y'all like, boom, that's it. That's all I ask. And then they smell a little bit different earlier on. I'm just like, this is just, they jump off for stuff.
Y'all for everything that y'all got going on.
And they like, how can I drive mama crazy today and kill myself?
Y'all take so much time with them. Y'all see the parks with them.
Oh yeah.
Wherever y'all are, you'll see y'all just family time.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna do this, and we're gonna raise these boys to be young men. I see. I've heard about Richard and the things that he's doing.
Oh yeah.
Helping with people, helping with young people, trying to coach and just do that. And it's in y'all blood. This is what y'all are here to do, and y'all are doing it.
Yeah. You know what we're working on? A facility. Really? Since the cities won't build them, I guess I got to figure out where we want to put it.
Really?
But so we can open it up.
So y'all can do it. That'd be.
It's gonna happen. It's just you know.
So you can have those kind of young ladies that come in there and,
Yeah.
oh, well, you just stay in here.
No,
until,
get in
you know,
here and
it's
do,
time go
or
home.
you don't want to play sports, then we gonna get Girl Scouts in there. We gonna have Black Girl Magic in there. We gonna do financial budgeting and, you know, how you get a job and resume building, and there's 100 different things you can be professional at.
Oh my goodness.
It might not be sports.
Talk that.
That's what people I see,
That's what
but
we
they
don't-
only see
That's what they don't.
that.
Our kids don't see.
Yeah, they see entertainment and sports.
Yeah.
But for me, I made more money talking to people, and engaging and building relationships than I have ever dribbling the ball.
And that's a part of your flowers right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just what you're trying to do, what
Mm-hmm.
you're doing to give back to the community, to help young ladies to be the next Tamika Williams or the next Brandy Hodgkins or Rhonda Price or somebody or Tobette Pleasant.
Oh yeah.
You're doing that, you know, and you are the spokesperson for that. And with you coming back home to coach, you know, Springfield's home. You know,
Oh, yeah.
you're not going to play.
It's a suburb of Dayton.
Yeah, it's just a little bit away.
Yep.
That's all.
Yep.
You can throw a rock to it.
Yep.
But Springfield's home, and you're close enough to home that you're making an impact.
Yeah.
And I talk to young ladies, even when I was coaching girls basketball, I talk to young ladies about you. And it's, you know, some young girls they know, some don't.
No, yeah. I'm old now.
You know, yeah.
Terry, I'm 40.
You old.
How that mean? I'll be telling Mike. I'll be like, how old you? That mean, how old you is? That's what I said. How old you is? He be like, I'm 43. If you 40, I'm like, nah, Mike.
Yeah, y'all know Mike.
Yeah, you're old, Mike.
Hey, Big Bird, look at some of these comments a little bit.
Chris Campbell, Tasha, she missed the story.
That's that.
Tasha got me out the basement.
Beautiful Tasha.
Marvin Gordon, Tamika Mama.
Cash, cash.
CW, yeah. All right.
There y'all go. Legendary people comment section. Let's go.
Hey Tasha.
Tosh.
Tasha Ray.
Love it. Such a need. And that's probably how she said it.
How you gonna say my brother don't count?
Your brother don't. You know Mike don't count. He 11 years older. Hey, my baby sister be like, I don't even remember Mike. He was 16 when I was born.
Wow. Yeah.
Think about that. Mike went to college when he was 17.
Yeah.
Because Mike scored a perfect score on his SAT. That's why. Yeah. That's
Smart, crazy.
Crazy. That's a bad combination.
Man, boys, lining up now.
Yeah, that's what happened. So he so he you know, he got a perfect score, so he don't count Chris Campbell.
Big Bird, anything else notable on there you want to bring up?
Let me see.
I don't think I
Don't which one? That one right there. How you gonna say my brother don't count?
Yeah,
I said that one. Yeah.
this
think
one kind of
I'll-
fast. All right.
I think yeah, that's it.
Okay.
But
oh there it is.
We remember y'all though. That's what she said. she said to me, we remember y'all though.
What'd she say?
She said we remember y'all though.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna let Bird go ahead and you say what you want to close with.
I mean, it's funny, like every time we like do a podcast, even when Smed and Peanut do theirs, how we always interconnected from somehow, like some, you know what I'm saying? Some type of way we didn't cross paths.
Absolutely.
And just with Meek, she just another one. Like, she was like baby sis, our hero, like a real bona fide ball player that like played with us, like really got down. Not we gave her there and took it easy on her. No, she was in there banging and trying to get buckets and doing the best. And it's always good to see somebody like from your fold, from your camp, do well. Like wherever she goes, she always been. I'm in Kansas now, Bird. Now,
Yeah.
I'm on tour now. I'm gonna
Yeah,
slide
he was
through
gone
there,
too.
whatever, you know. And you know, when she went to Kentucky, she always let us know where she was at and all that. And then with social media, then we really could stay right on top. You know, marrying all, you know, the kids. And I seen the change. I said, oh Lord. I told Carrie, I said, no, Meek changed her name back to Williams. We probably gonna have to go camp out about 2 weeks.
That's right.
Everybody gonna be chasing
It did.
You know what I'm saying?
It was bad.
It was always good. It's always, you know, because we like to name drop. They all
That's
talking
love.
about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I know her.
Oh, he became single
You know
again.
what
I
I'm
have
saying?
friends like, hey man, why don't you hook me up?
Hey.
No,
Hey.
absolutely
Hey.
no. It was no then. It was no now. We didn't even get you.
I would be like, sometimes I'd be like, yeah, all right.
all right, yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Carrie,
that
why was
part
you
of
hating?
Blocking.
I could have had me an
it.
old man
Because you
friend.
got the right one, well, you got
Right.
it.
It was,
Blocking
I know
the
before that
basket.
there was a gap.
Blocking the basket.
no, yeah. We was, yeah. We
Three in the key. Three in the key.
We've been doing it. She should be used to it. We've been doing it.
They
She was
the
in high school.
ultimate.
We've been doing it.
Remember the commercial? I wear a blue blocker. Yeah. That needs to.
It ain't happening.
And never told her nothing about nobody who
You'd have
asked
thought I
her
was
because she'd be
not
like,
telling.
what? We don't, tell her nothing. But I mean, I'm proud of you. I'm glad to know you. I'm glad to say, I'm family. We've been past that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying one part. So we family. So I look forward to the other things that you're gonna do on your great journey.
Mm-hmm.
Starting from JT, where you go over there, and your mama feed you real good.
That's right.
Remember that. She feeds you real good.
Yeah.
Not just on Sunday, every day.
That's right.
She was gonna
That's how you
be
get thick sauce.
good.
Shout to Mama.
That's a thick sauce.
Mama love.
All right, I give you the thumbs up, especially when you was at the Ohio State. I got all
The.
years. She gave
Ohio
me all
State.
the years.
The.
It started with me. She used to give me, I'd be like, let me get that.
I got a whole bunch of
The
it.
big centers and stuff, let me get
Get
that
that
stuff
shit.
off down the city.
The
Yeah.
Ohio State.
I always appreciate that she never forgot the people she started with and all that stuff. Always humble. So that's my closing remarks.
That's my love,
What you
man.
got? Your clothes. What you want to say, dog?
Y'all said it all. I'm happy that y'all doing this, cause this gets me out of my element. There's a lot that people don't know about me.
It's a lot that people just
Learn about me, yeah.
It's
And
a
so,
lot that people just learn.
Yeah.
That I think and I think with this show that we're doing, even with my own with Jeff, when I had Jeff them on here.
Jeff Graham,
Yeah, I learned some things. No, we're not gonna do that.
I like Jeff.
Some things that I learned about him that there's some stuff I didn't know. And we grew up together. But y'all both Jefferson people anyway. So
We built
again,
different.
Keith Byers, I learned stuff about Keith I did not know. And with Daquan and Coach Pullen, I learned some things. Coach Doug, I learned some things. Like I've had some true legends.
Southside Smooth.
And you are a true legend.
Yes.
I thank you for coming on here. I thank you so much. Before all that, I love you.
You always say that. Hey, you meet Carrie, and Carrie gonna always say he love you.
I love you. You are like my little sister, and I get choked because, our love for each other.
Yeah.
And it's nothing but brother and sister love.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you, and I'm happy for you, your husband and your kids that you have right now, the life that you're living.
Yeah.
Coaching where you're coaching and being close to home, because the healthier I get,
Yeah.
the more games I'm going to come.
That's right. And that's
And I'm
good to
going
see
to
up.
keep sitting down on that front row.
You got the same seat
and
every time.
I'm going to raise some little hell.
Yeah. You can even come down the other side so you can really hear what I say.
Yeah.
See, I be going Perk to pull back, and Perk be like, nah, they need that sometimes.
We'd be like, oh,
Hey, Perk.
talking like us.
Perk was like, I knew when you said this. I was like, dang, Perk, that's when I need you to just. Perk be like, nah, they need it sometimes. I'll be going in.
Turning it up. Turn up.
Perk be in the back. I'll be back. Like Mike said, when my sister start pulling air, I'll be like,
They told me I had
pulling that air.
And the guy told me,
Learn.
he said, Carrie, you use some choice language. He said, I heard you in the weight room getting on some kids, and you were. I said, but it's all out of love. They know I love them, and I'm gonna get on them.
Yep.
I said, and I'm 53 years old. I'm not gonna change. That's how I coach. If they don't like it, either you fire me,
Yeah.
or let it go.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Because that's how I'm going to do it, and that's how they respond to me.
Yep.
That's how they respond to me, and that's how I respond to them. Because I don't mind them. They say some things to me, they jokingly.
Yeah.
They say some things to me, and it's okay, But just, for your house, you got more ahead of you than behind you. You got about 25 behind you, but you got about 30 more ahead of you. That, if God continues to bless you with health and wealth, that you be able to push that off onto somebody else, your knowledge and everything that you've been through, and the things that you've done, your journey that God has taken you on, is just an awesome spiritual journey. It's just, you are so blessed. And for the things that you've done, as you sat here and told the stories, I could just see it through your eyes. Being in South Africa, being in Ukraine,
beautiful.
being in these places where you're seeing guys, you're being, chaperoned with AK-47s and stuff like that, MR, assault rifles. That's a journey.
That is a journey.
To be followed by MTV and Sports Illustrated and ESPN to follow you through all your recruiting. To be flown from Dayton to Columbus.
You like that one, kid?
Oh my God! They didn't do that for Keith Myers. They didn't do that for him. They didn't do that for Daquan. So Daquan Cook, they got one. I need to call Daquan.
That's my boy.
And tell Daquan.
I think he turned it down. He turned it down.
He turned it down.
I was there when Daquan was there.
My goodness, I want to mess with him.
I never said anything to him. I used to be like,
I hope he answers the phone. He got this.
Daquan, do not answer.
He normally in the comment section. Good.
Daquan, do not answer.
Oh, I'm glad you answered.
Don't answer. Hang up. He in the rain.
What up, bro? I got a question for you.
Oh, God.
So, I'm sitting here with Tamika Williams, right?
Live on air.
We on doing our podcast. Did you know that when Tamika got recruited in high school that Ohio State, your school, flew her up to Columbus from Dayton with a private jet?
Harry, I can't stand you.
They flew her from Dayton to Columbus in a private jet.
I didn't go.
Yes, and she did, and of course she chose UConn, but they flew her from Dayton to Columbus. And I said they didn't do that for Daquan.
He turned it down. Yes, they.
I told her that too.
Nah.
I told her that too. I said, Tamika, you're the true. You're the true big dog.
Nah.
Big dog status.
You still training?
What?
I'm on my way.
Hey, man, you
What?
Hey, tell him we on the way.
We on the way. We on the way, boo.
I'll see you in a second.
all right.
I'm up here frying. So I thought it was rain.
That arena?
That's oil.
We thought it was rain.
What's that? What is the arena?
The bar up here used to be 8 Ball Wings. It's called the arena.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his daddy run the kitchen and stuff up there.
I'm up here killing some chicken.
He does that. Daquan does not care. He puts
Yeah.
his hands in.
I love it.
A
man's man.
So I just had to.
I was there when Daquan was there too, seeing his little skinny bud and Dunbar and Coach Pullins. Coach Pullins coached my sister, baby sister. That was all those. He was on Disney. He got them. They were on Disney. They had Totally Hoops. Who always make fun of me about that. But Coach Pullins was their coach, and then he started to venture into that space, and then it was just great to sit there.
But I had to tease him.
That's funny. I was there when they all showed up. I was like, man, and Daquan, I don't know. I never impeded him in his space, so I never went up to him, and I didn't know if he knew me. Because I was a coach at Ohio State.
With him.
So I just kept my, I know how it is.
He's always been such a humble person.
Yeah, so I just was like.
He's never been a person you couldn't approach and
talk to. Yeah, I know now.
I don't care where we were. You know, we go to Waffle House. He talking to the people back there cooking. He joking with them. Yeah. That's just the kind. That's what y'all.
Yeah, we're very similar that way. Yeah. After I just was like, hey, he's like, then he would talk to me all the time. But that was a big stage with him and Greg and Mike Conley. I mean, you don't get no better than that. They come up and they go in the Final Fours, and I mean, I just finished that space, and I mean that's a wonderful space. So I was happy for him. And then me, I was in the back. He's from Dayton, though. That's where he's from. He's from Dayton.
So, you Ohio State people, you the only person from here.
I know.
To get flown
in a private jet.
In a private jet.
With.
When it's only really for me and Darren driving, it's only really
it was
about 35,
you literally
40 minute drive.
You went up and we came right back down. I'll never forget that. I was like, no, we don't have to do that.
But they had to do it.
They wrote
they put out the red car. He was trying to get you.
That visit in the UD 1 day event affair was like
UD was awesome.
That was I just went. My mom was like, you need to go. She's